Yeah, as you were saying.
I used to get up at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
every day for the years that my son was in primary school. So,
Yeah.
what's that, 3 years
Mm-hmm.
to take him to school.
Yeah.
So, when you're playing with my seed, the most important asset in my life,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play with you. So then I had fun with the headmaster and headmistress, my little
Straight.
psychological warfare.
Mm-hmm.
No shouting, just passive aggression where you know it might go down.
Mm-hmm.
So when they say come in the room, sit down, I stand up. And then when I can see that they're nervous, then I pull out my own chair, place it where I want, and then I talk.
Lovely.
You see, you mentioned something.
Yeah.
Can people, and as I say this, if they ever came across it, they will remember the day that I did it.
Yeah.
You asked me, can people be free of our hue in this country? And what did I say to you? I said, you're either free or you're not. So somebody tells me to sit down, I choose to stand. Now they're looking at me, I take the chair and I put it where I want, and then I take charge of the room and the space.
Yeah,
you know why? Because I'm free. And I'm free not because I'm polite, but because you cannot control what I do. I'm in charge.
Yes.
Physically,
Yeah.
in terms of my communication, and you know I'm serious about what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So you're complicit with me, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Understand the power that you have in the world and assert it.
Yes. And moving forward, like you see that for your son, obviously, you know, from like homeschooling, did you see like making that transition between public school and obviously taking him out and starting to, you know, homeschooling? Like, did you, because I'm only asking this question because, you know, like people who are going to be watching this, maybe like a parent might want to, you know, want to make that transition as well for their kid. Like, how was that transition like? Was it tricky? Was it straightforward? What did that make you, you know, jump through certain hoops? Like, yeah, how was that transition?
Asking them the wrong questions.
Okay.
Because you're giving them power they don't have.
Okay. Hey.
You're giving them, and let me start from the beginning.
Yeah, go on.
When my son was born, first of all, before my son was born, there was a hospital named Northwick Park. In 2007, between 2006 2007, 10 African and African Caribbean women had died during childbirth or been ripped like horribly within that year. So
within 1 year, all of those women within
10.
With...
So we went to the hospital because we were due to give birth there. Now, I'm 49, I may not look 49. At 33, when we were pregnant with our son, I did not look 33. I looked younger, but I spoke exactly the same. So you see this young-looking guy there with a young-looking lady, and you said, you're going to have the baby here. I said, no, this is a courtesy call to let you know we are not having the baby here. And he had a training assistant with him, young English lady, and she's trying to be pleasant and nice. So then I do something called the J-Lass Rock, where I get you nice in your comfort zone, you're there relaxed. And then I said, would you have a child here? I said, exactly. So then the doctor says, is it because of what's going on TV? I said, no, it's what's happening in your wards. She's not going to be a victim. I'm not going to witness it. In any case, we've told you, and he's just smirking and kept saying, you'll have your baby here. We didn't. We went to St. Mary's, and it was a complicated birth that she may have had something irrevocable happen to her, and I can guarantee my son would not be here today. We were blessed to have the doctor who delivered my son, because he had his umbilical cord around his neck.
Okay. Oh, one of those complicated births.
Complicated birth.
Okay.
So, first of all, I took control. She doesn't have to fight, put up anything. That's not her role. That's my role.
That's your role.
When he was born, we're going to put the gun in his ear to do a hearing test. What's that for? Oh, it's for us. No, I don't care about you. No. Oh, he's got to take the vitamin K in this injection. No. Oh, he's got to take this. No, he's not going to do any of that. So when she had a shower, I help my son. When she come back, when I go, he's with her. He was never ever separated from her. Then they send the health worker. You have to take this or you have to take that. In my house, how much rent do you pay here? Oh, I don't, do I? No, you're right, you don't.
Yeah.
So then when you ask me, how do I take a child out of school? You go to the local borough website, you download the statutory letter saying, I am taking my child out of school. You could have previously made the decision, take your child out of school and post it the next day or previous day. Who cares? The power is yours. People, through our indoctrination, through learning to be approval junkies,
Yes.
have given up their inalienable rights to feel polite. Why? Because we want to be good boys and girls for someone else's approval.
True. Fuck their approval, indeed. And one of the last things that I just want to touch on fatherhood before we smoothly move on is like, like growing up, obviously, like we in Tottenham, this is where I've grown up. I've spent most of my life. Tottenham, moved around in different places, but this is what I call home. Tottenham, North London. Most of my family are all over the place. And, people usually say from the ends, from the hood, we grew up from this and that. And one of the common, denominator that I've realized growing up is something that keeps on happening and happening and happening is people keep on saying like, houses without fathers in them. People growing up with single parents, households and stuff like that. Like, what are your thoughts on it? And who's to blame if there's anyone to blame specifically?
The only people who are to blame for a breakdown in relationships is the two people involved. There's nobody else involved. There's no government. There's nobody else involved. Now, herein lies the thing, because we have this perception that African and African Caribbean households don't have fathers. English people understand the power of PR and how to protect the image of whiteness. Don't think the statistic for fatherless homes in European English people's homes is any different from in African and African Caribbean homes. The difference is we let our shit rise to the surface that everybody can see it. And English people understand how to protect the image of whiteness. Now, I'm going to explain to you how our comprehension is remembered and digested. We see everything as a photograph. So now, if I say JD Sport, you're probably going to get a picture of Nike trainers and tracksuit in your head from the window because you've got an image immediately, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
So if I showed you that poster and I said it was a JD Sports poster, it had no JD Sports logo on it or anything, but you've got the image in your mind. Do you know why? Because JD Sport know how to project an image. And English people know how to project an image. Only we're not working on our PR to actually project the image of houses with fathers or houses where they're separated and the father is fully involved in the family's life, protecting them as a father. But we don't have create the TV outlets because we don't pay. See, if you pay attention, and we don't pay. So we don't, this thing black is a nonsense anyway, it's just a political term. But we don't protect the image of blackness, but we also don't paint the image of blackness. The people who protect the image of whiteness project the image of blackness.
I'm with you.
Now, when you understand that,
you're giving them
you
game.
understand everything.
Yeah.
And then who is responsible for protecting the image of blackness now? Is it something you want to take up? You're doing your part with your podcast.
Yeah.
So you're playing your role. Yeah. So once you become in receipt of those facts, you say, so it's an ideology war. So it's a secret war. So if there's a secret war, should I not become a silent weapon for a secret war?
I'm with you. Yeah, bro. Because honestly, man, like this thing of like, and even like I said, man, like me growing up and just looking at the keep like in these communities that we're from, like people keep on saying the same thing as well. I just feel like, sometimes it's like, surely there must be other ways to look at these kind of situations.
But let me ask you a question.
Sure, go on.
So when you see these white boys on the bike rapping and there's no dad in the house, didn't you ever ask yourself any question? You see, because they protect the image of whiteness, the photograph could never even form in your head.
Madness.
So now let's talk about the hood. Because the hood is just a photograph in a 11-year-old to 19-year-old's head. Because it doesn't exist.
Yes.
It's bullshit. The hood is what you desire based on the music you listen to and the films you watch. Because if I walk all down Tottenham I can count hundreds of £1 million houses, yeah?
For real.
There's no hood. The hood lives in your head.
Yeah.
So this guy who's a nerd, who's got a wonderful creative brain, that you feel you're going to go in trouble because you're a coward just for the promotion of the hood. That doesn't exist anywhere other than in you 9 guys' heads.
Indeed. Absolutely, indeed.
See, there's nothing wrong with the area apart from you, who's been trained and conditioned to despise your reflection and everything in him that you don't like about yourself. So now you're going to go and burst him, stab him what you don't like about yourself, because he's just a reflection. Because you've got the same uniform, you listen to the same shit, you talk the same shit, you watch the same shit, you like the same chick in Crocs and tracksuit and a bonnet. So, if that's a fact, who are you really killing? And where does the hood live? The hood lives in your head.
And you're killing yourself.
And now because the hood lives in your head, you've actually made it a viable thing for feds to bother you and anyone who looks like you for no particular reason. But it's not.
Yeah. It's and you see, like you touched on, like, you know, like kids from a lot of these communities, our communities, you know, continuing, you know, to kill each other and all sorts. Do you think this would ever end? Personally,
It will end. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Do you think this could ever end?
Because there are people with an agenda to end it.
Yeah.
But let me tell you why it's here.
Yeah.
Now, it's fine for the racial epithet of nigger to be used by everybody, because the people who protect the image of whiteness say so. But is it fine for me to say kike, yid, paki, wop, dago, spick, taco head, nip, chink, you name it? They are unacceptable. You see, when I say nigger, nobody moves, everybody's comfortable and fine. But if I say kike, everybody's upset.
People get rattled.
If I say paki, everybody's upset. If I say chink, everybody's upset. If I called a South American a taco head, he'd be upset. But they might frequently say nigger.
Which they do.
Somebody says you're spick, you're upset. I'm a man who likes reciprocity. I believe what's good for one is good for all.
Absolutely.
So here's the thing. If it's acceptable for all young rappers of any hue and ethnicity to talk about killing black men and using the term nigger, can I now talk as a melanated man about killing kikes, yids, pakis, chinks, spicks, dagos, wops, and whatever other? No, it's totally unacceptable. So the reason it's not acceptable to talk about killing niggers is because it's not acceptable to talk about killing kikes, pakis, chinks, spicks, dagos, spring rolls, whatever you want to call anybody of any racial epitaph. It is unacceptable. Can we now agree after that little soliloquy that it's totally unacceptable to use the term nigger against me? Now, if we use it, it's our business. And if Asians want to use the P term, if Jews want to use the K term or the Y term, or Italians, that is their business. But you see why I speak plainly? So that everybody understands just where we are. Okay.
So even on a quick one as well, why do some people then try to basically say, oh, just because you black people use the N-word amongst each other, it's like it shouldn't be a problem if we use that as well because you guys use it in your music. You know, sometimes
because they're racist and they want to use it and they think they're slick. I don't have a problem with any white man saying nigger in front of me as long as he doesn't have a problem with me punching him in his mouth.
Okay. One of them ones. And even I want to talk about like for those people who have never heard this term before, I want you to, explain this term, like civil and social, entrepreneur. Like you're a civil and social entrepreneur, What does that mean exactly for the people, who might be watching and they don't actually understand what that actually means?
So I had private businesses all my life. And then there was a stage in 2016 where police were killing a lot of black Americans where I said, you see things there, and then they transfer here in 5 to 10 years. But because of the digital age, things have just happened a lot quicker.
A lot quick, much
And I
quicker.
said, I wanted to become active, specifically with creating youth programs. And I wanted to do that now. And I could do it within my capacity, within my business. So I'd hire a hall somewhere, bring people in that I thought were solution providers to discuss the issues so that we could create initiatives. So just down the road, this is Tottenham, 399 Tottenham High Road, there was a publicly owned building which was fraudulently sold by the trustees to a property developer, an economic speculator who had paid them. They took the money privately to go on with their lives, because when you become a trustee, your name goes on the deeds. Well, some people had occupied the building and I occupied it with them. I took my money and I purchased desks, chairs and equipment to go in 399 to create a youth TV platform in there. Now, there was a property councillor in Tottenham Council, whom I won't name, who I believe, I can only say I believe, I actually understand to be in bed with the property developer in the acquisition of that property. So when he found out that I was in there, we were putting forward a bid from Big Lottery for £500,000 with an organisation I was working with at the time to fund and underwrite this particular TV studio. So the way the model worked is that the staff get paid, and then the staff, while shooting the shows, are training youths to shoot on the equipment, and then they come in to be the crew of the actual platform.
Understood.
So it was called Indigo TV. Equipment was there, all the potential was there. The model of, I've gone for several meetings with Tottenham Council. I made gated folders. They got all the information. They got the full proposal. It sat in that man's desk for 5 weeks. He did an impersonation in front of the Nigerian head of the council at the time. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Was very rude to us when he met us by himself with another young Englishman. He says, well, if this is all above board, who do you think you're talking to with yellow fingernails that you're biting in the middle of our meeting? So a civil and social entrepreneur is someone who does, in the public sector, what entrepreneurs would ordinarily do. Just because you want to deliver something for us.
Okay. And with that project, did you say that, so that project like fell through? Like you couldn't really, continue?
There's a reason that I've arrived at this position.
Yeah, okay.
It's because of all of my experience with these agencies.
Yeah.
So if you were to ask me, do you think the police are going to change and make any progress? I will tell you the police have zero desire to change.
Yeah.
They're going to get worse. They're planning to get worse. The Home Office has created all of the legislation to give them greater powers in more proficient bullying, more proficient targeting of us as African Caribbeans, specifically our children, by detaining our children, agitating them, so they get themselves arrested based on their adverse reaction to being agitated, they can process them by taking their fingerprints, DNA, and photograph. So next time you're stopped, if I ask you if you're in the system, and then I check your name, you're in the system for committing no crime, but now you've been criminalized, right?
That's crazy.
So now what's happened, what they call in the States, you're under arrest for resisting arrest. It's been imported to England.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my advice for any parents. And I wrote this on LinkedIn and I've seen that it's been transferred to all of the WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
I wrote that your children are being targeted to be criminalized, to process fingerprints, photograph, DNA. Tell them this may happen to them as soon as they're apprehended, maybe cuffed, completely calm, completely silent. Am I under arrest for a crime or am I free to go? The worse they get, the calmer you get. Am I under arrest or am I free to go? What crime am I being accused of, officer? Am I under arrest or am I free to go? Do this practice as a man. See, as a man, a woman will challenge you. People will challenge you. You can react, you could burst a man and you could spend 17 years minimum in life. They give you minimum life tariffs. Or you could practice this. The worse they go, if you know you have the capacity to finish the round, get calm. The worse they project, because there's nobody there. It's just like, these little dogs. The little dogs, they bark.
Them little chihuahuas, all of it, but Just barking, no bite.
All barking, no bite.
Yeah.
The more noise they make, the more peaceful you get. And then if you have to actually respond in kind,
Yeah.
let it go.
I feel you.